Welcome to Accenture webinar on rapid application build using Oracle Autonomous Database Cloud. So our topic tonight will be around being able to rapidly develop with Oracle Autonomous Database. So I have with me a group of experts that are doing this day in and day out. We build applications literally at the speed of thought. So I have two of my colleagues here. First, let them introduce themselves during their section. But to introduce myself, I am Clark Ho. I'm a director here in Accenture, and I'm a certified senior technology architect. I have been within the IT industry for more than 20 years. So I've seen the kinds of technologies that has happened over since I graduated from college. So it's a very interesting time in technology today, where we're always at the pace of constant new technology, and the real thing that we need to do here is really to constantly innovate ourselves. So even after being more than 20 years in the industry, we still do the greatest and the most innovative things using the latest technology today. So how are we able to do that? Next, please. So as covered for today's topic, we'll cover why this is important, and we'll show you how we're able to do this using a very innovative technology called the Oracle Autonomous Database. So autonomous, it's analogous to having an autonomous vehicle, right? So you imagine your technology being autonomous. So we'll talk about that later. And then within that same session, we will create an application on the spot. So within the 30 minutes to an hour we'll have here, we'll actually show you how to create this literally within this session. So in today's age, how do we differentiate, right? It's organizations are actually facing an innovation gap. So as you can see, most companies are actually out innovating themselves. The companies that are actually the most innovative are the ones that actually stay ahead. And that's a given, right? It's given. You've seen it in all of the technologies you've seen that we've been introduced to, and these are things that the differentiator across different companies and even people, right, are the people who actually constantly innovate. And how are we able to do that? So there's a lot of issues, challenges in the world, but the problem we have is how fast can we actually solve them? So literally, we need to build things at the speed of smart. Meaning, we have a problem. No, we shouldn't be now bogged down by things like, oh, how am I gonna set this up? How am I gonna build it? How am I gonna, we should be able to come up with a solution and fairly quickly. And good news is the technology is out there. There's a lot of technologies out there that enables us to do it, and we'll just show you one of these technologies today. Okay, so what we're gonna demo to make something really great is we need to have a combination, not just technology, right? You need to have the right application. You need to have data to fuel that innovation. You need to have the infrastructure. You need to have you have to have a combination of human plus machine working together to make sure that these solutions come into light, along with companies and partners and ecosystems. So with that, let's get going. I'll hand it over to my colleague here, Joe, who will show us how to actually. So not only will we develop it from scratch, but we will create the platform that you will build on this live. So I'll hand it off to you, Joe.
My name is Joe. I'm the custom application development lead for our Philippine practice here in Accenture for Oracle Cloud applications. So I've been with the industry for around 20 years, going as far back as mainframe. So I've worked with different databases, and currently I'm working with Oracle now. So what I'm going to show you is how do we start building our application. So the first step would be to go to cloud.oracle.com, and then from there, before you can start on creating your app, you have to create an account for Oracle. So Oracle provides a free trial account for you to work with their services. So you just have to go to their site and then click on the Try Oracle Cloud link from there. It will be a few steps. You can complete the registration in a few minutes. It will require you to provide just like any cloud provider, it requires you to provide a credit card to verify that you are a real person. However, unless you upgrade to their paid account, you will not be charged for the service. So once you have already created your cloud trial account, you can go to their site, and so I have already created my trial account, so I would log in to that account. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is to create an Oracle Autonomous Database. So here I have logged into our trial account. So actually we have created trial account to also try their different services. So I'm going to the autonomous database. So I'm logging in. Now I just have to click on the create autonomous database and then provide a name for the database. And then so I need a name. And then I just have to click on choosing the workload type. So there are two options here. One for if you're working with more analytic or large data analytic purpose, you use the data warehouse. But for more multi-purpose or a general workload, you use transaction processing. And then there's select the always free option so that to make sure I don't have to pay. Then I have to select nominate a password for my database. Okay, and then I just click the create autonomous database. So this provisioning will take around 5 minutes. I'll get back to this and proceed with the next slide to discuss. Okay, so what I have shown you is creating an autonomous database. So I'm sure most of you are already familiar with what an Oracle database is. Oracle database is one of the most trusted and widely used relational database that we have today. So it's still the most popular database out there when it comes to corporate IT. So it runs at the center of many corporate IT environments and supports a mix of different workloads. So it can be used for transaction processing, business intelligence, and analytics applications. So what I have shown you is creating an autonomous database. It's still the same full-featured Oracle database that you get when you install a enterprise edition of an Oracle database. So it's like the one that are used by big corporations, but now that it's in a cloud and autonomous, so it's self-driving, which means you don't have to worry about installation and configuration like what I've shown you. It's just a couple of, no, just a few clicks to create your own database. And then it's self-securing, so you don't have to worry about encryption. Everything by default is encrypted and it's hardened to resist against malicious actors and attacks. So everything is the connection is encrypted by default. You can connect using a an insecure secure connection from this. Then it's also self-repairing, so you don't have to worry about patches. So uh, performance tuning is automated by by Oracle Cloud, and then patching and upgrading the version is automated, so you don't have to worry about those things. Now, what's excellent about what Oracle provides when you sign on for a free account, it includes what is called always free services. So there's you can create two autonomous databases uh, that so there are three configurations of an autonomous database that is free, always free. So even if you have completed your 30-day free trial, these databases will continue to be available for free. So it has some limitations. You can only create two databases. It's limited to one CPU. Um, there's also a limit on the size, so it can only go on up to 2 GB each. Along with that, uh, there's also you also get two VMs, so you can actually using this free option, you can build your own application application stack. So you can create a more full-featured application, and with load balancing and also monitoring and notifications built in. Today we're going to look at one of the application development platform that's available in on the autonomous database, and that is the Oracle Apex. So Oracle Apex is a low-code development platform. So it enables you to build, scale, and create enterprise scale secure enterprise apps with world-class features. So it's simple because it's easy to use and learn. So it has a rich browser-based interface that allows you to create your application. It has powerful components that enable you to add high level of functionality to your app with limited coding. So it's powerful and proven. This has been uh, available for almost 20 years now. So it started um, in the latest in the first iteration. It used to be called HTML by Oracle, but now it has continued to evolve and mature. Uh, so it's very modern framework. So it's been used by a lot of by tens of thousands of users, and used to power thousands of applications around the globe for years. So it's also secure. So it uh, it evolves in a world of ever-changing web standards, and it also evolves in terms of security standards. And so you can be sure that it's not easy uh, to be compromised by hackers. Then it's also portable. So once you have an Oracle database and Oracle Apex, the application is easy to deploy in those environments. So the Oracle Apex uh, provides support for three different distinct three developer persona. So it caters to these three levels of skills and experience for Apex users. So first, you have the no code users. These are typically business users. So an Apex user can easily build applications within the scope of forms, reports, and charts using a simple point and click user interface. So this is fully functional. application that is also very productive. Then, if you have IT department developers or operational teams, or maybe even DBAs that have limited application development experience, as long as they know how to, as long as they have some experience in SQL and or PL SQL, they can add business functionality to those applications, those forms, reports, and charts with little developer experience. And then finally, you have the full programmatic users. So these are the ones with advanced development skills that knows JavaScript, CSS, HTML, client-side frameworks. They can use those things to embed to Oracle Apex. It has a plug-in system, so there's actually a large number of plugins that are available for Oracle Apex that you can take and then embed in your application to get more functionality out of Apex. And one more thing that needs that to be noted is that Oracle Apex is actually architecturally integrated into an Oracle database. So it's in terms of performance, there's little to no network delay from an application server to a database server because the application Apex application itself runs on the Oracle database. Now, let me go back to the instance, the autonomous database instance that I have created. So you can see that I have already, it's already available. So I'm going to create an Apex workspace from this autonomous database. So I just have to go to the service console. Then out of the box, there's already an Oracle Apex installed with this instance. Now I have logged into the administration service so I can create an Oracle Apex workspace where we can build our sample application. Okay, now you can see just within a span of 10 minutes, I was able to create an Oracle autonomous database and then create an Apex workspace where I can continue to create a very useful application. So I'm going to turn over to Rona for the demo to create the Oracle database. I mean the Apex application.
Hello, everyone. So I am Rona Cadano. Part of my current responsibilities is leading the Oracle Apex development team in Accenture Philippines. And yeah, let's get started. So I am sharing now my screen. And as you can see here, we have seen Joe creating the autonomous database, TechXplore 2020, which I will be navigating now to create the application. So you've heard from Clark what a rapid web development is and its value in our competition in terms of business. Then, yeah, Joe also has explained what Oracle Apex Application Express, which is the rapid web development tool that we are using. So from here, from that autonomous database that Joe has created, I will access that workspace. And that's where we will start developing our application. Sorry, Joe, so that was web.
It's Apex.
So when we see rapid, so it means we will do this the fast way. So actually, we will be using the no code to low code technique of web development. Apex Web. Okay, so we're in. So the use case that I will be using now, since we are here in the application builder, so this is the default homepage when we log into Apex, right? So we have this create button that will direct us to the creation wizard of the page, and we have multiple options here. So what the use case that I want us to imagine is, remember currently, if let's say we are in an emergency crisis, so to speak, and with the current situation of COVID-19, actually it's easy for us to relate. Then for organizations like us, it is very important for us to track our resources. So it's very important for us to know if they are safe, are they capable to report online, or do they need interventions? Sounds like HR stuff, right? And we can imagine receiving a CSV file from HR that actually looks like this. So we have the work date and this person, of course, these are made up names. So this person reported and was actually working from home, and she's on a day shift, and some are still reporting in the office and they're on night shift. So let's imagine such CSV information are provided, and then actually what I'm going to show you is through rapid web development technique with this autonomous database, with application express sitting on the autonomous database, we can create an application with rich data visualization without us doing any coding. So from here, upload a file. So let's drag and drop that CSV file that contains the whereabouts of an employee, daily whereabouts. So is the employee reporting online or sick leave or vacation leave? And then it will bring us here. So we just need to provide the table name for this one. Let's say we are working for Ace Company. And then it will load the data for us. It will create the database table for us, and it will load the data. So say it was actually fast. So 418 rows inserted in just like 1 or 2 seconds. Then, so that's the database, that's the table that has been created, records inserted, and we will go ahead and create the application. And I will not be switching screen, so we will see how Apex is creating the application for us. Actually, it has created it already. So it's really rapid. So what we're gonna do here, as you can see here, it created rich visualizations of data. So we have the dashboard, which I'm gonna go through in more details later. And let's just hit create application. So it's now creating the application for us. And once this is done, we're ready to launch the application. So like it's already live. So when we run this application, it will auto create the login page for us. So that's part of the security features of Apex. So it auto created a login page for us. And then as what I've said earlier, so we have the dashboard, we have the search feature. So all this were coming from the spreadsheet, from the CSV file that we have loaded earlier. So for example, if this is the home page, right? So Apex has created 5 pages for us without us doing any coding. So 0 coding. And I'll show you later how we can customize one of the pages or create a page with very less coding. So here from the home page, we can click on the dashboard. And here we have we will be able to see the pie charts and some bar graphs, and we can always customize this. So for example, for the work location, we can see here that most of them are working from home and some reported for like some are sick leave, availed some sick leave, but I've said these are not actual data, so don't worry. So for example, here when we click the pie chart portion for sick leave, so we were directed here to this company's report. So this is an interactive report, and we can do so many things in here. One of the examples is to, for example, if we want to highlight some of the data here. So for example, where work date, or let's say we wanted to highlight an employee. So if we want to delete this particular filter coming from the pie chart, we can do so. And now we're down to all employees here. And if we do highlight, for example, we wanted to see how Jean Lee was doing. So we click on the name, and then let's say when it is Jean Lee, then mark it with red and apply. So one interesting thing here is that any customizations that we're doing on this page is visible only to us, only to this session. So any other user that are navigating to this page, they will not see whatever we're doing here. Like we can do charting, we can do aggregate, and any other customizations of this interactive report, but that would be visible on our session only. So that's the good part of it. So that's the second page, the report. And then there's also one interesting page here that was created for us without coding, sorry. So we have here the search. For example, we are only concerned about Adora. So when we click that one, so it's filtered, so that's easy. Then the last page here is the calendar. So we can always customize this one. At the moment, it's showing us a preview of how many were online, how many availed vacation, or how many availed sick leave. So that's what we have here. Now, hope that's clear. So we did all of these pages without coding. Isn't it interesting? So what if we wanted to deploy this application to employees so that they can check in, no more CSV, no more spreadsheet tracking. We want employees to log in here straight. So we're needing one page, which is a form so they can check in. So that's when we will start to creating pages. But Apex has rich templates that we can just select, like form. Okay, so I want to create a form and I want to name it check in, and on submit I want to reroute to page one, and then just click on next, and then it will ask us to which table will it be pointing to. So of course it will be pointing to the table that we have created earlier. Then select the primary key, which was also auto-provided by Oracle Autonomous Database for us. Then voila, so we have the page for login. I mean for check-in. So we already have the page by just those few clicks. If we run this one, so user will now have a check-in page. Now let's move to low coding. So what if we want to default this work date? I don't want users to be like mistaken on what date they're referring to when they work. So I want to default this one to the current date. So let's go to the work date. And again, it's simple. When we go to the default, so this is the low coding. Okay, let's default it to the current date. Let's just check. So Apex has a code validator, which is perfect for, yeah, for even for beginners. So we just save that one. So that's one line of code. And there. So it's defaulted to the current date. So again, this status can be like a drop down. You can customize that one. But for now, let's say, yes, I'm online. And then actually I'm working from home. And I'm on a day shift. And hit create. And there, it created a record for me. So I'm already done for the day. I've logged in. So when we go to company search, expect me to be present. So when we go search for my name, there. So on 5/5, I was online and I was working from home. So fairly simple. And one more thing that is actually good here is that all Apex applications that are created here are responsive, meaning even if we choose or even if we switch to other device, I'm trying to simulate it here. So if we, for example, visit this website on a mobile screen, then everything will still fit there. So it will auto adjust the templates and all the components, so they are still on their best viewable layout. So that Apex is doing it for us. I remember I was a traditional web developer way back in 2012, and we need to code in HTML, JavaScript, and there is CSS to style your pages separately. But here, as you can see, Apex is doing it for us. So as you can remember, I only did one line of code here. So we have here this application ready for any size of screen, and we can. This is portrait mode, and we can switch to landscape. If you have tablets or something, then it will still be visible. Yep. So that's actually the end of this demo. Hope you got interested on using Oracle Application Express. And I personally fell in love with this rapid web development tool, so to speak, since way back in 2015, as I've told you. So from a traditional web developer, then I found this, I met this tool, and on top of the autonomous database, and it's perfect actually for competition within the business or clients. So in terms of productivity and maintainability, so we don't need to get bogged down by maintenance activities, and the web application development is rapid, so as the deployment, since it sits on Oracle Cloud as a service. And above all, Oracle offers a powerful free offering that beats the competition. Thank you. That's all from my end.
I'd like to thank our expert, content expert here, Joe and Rona, for sharing their experience and insights. Thank you, everyone.